guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today we're going to do a taste test comparison because if you've been following me, you know that I went and I got wild caught tuna from the ocean and bought it off the dock and came home and I cut up the fish. It was the first time ever, and a lot of you said, you need a fillet knife. Well, you can't use a fillet knife necessarily on that whole thing because the hide is so tough on them, but I did okay for my first try. So if you didn't watch that, it's more like a vlog. It's a little lengthy because I show some of the scenery, but I promised a lot of you and people that watch my videos that I know in person that I would do a taste comparison. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I've got what I normally buy is albacore tuna from Costco. Albacore tuna in water. Now, somebody pointed out to me though, let's look at the ingredients. Somebody pointed out something that was kind of disturbing. Water, sea salt. I didn't add any salt. Okay, no, it's, somebody said that they add soybean oil, but this doesn't have any oil in it. No added. So I'm gonna open it up. I've got a liquid discard bowl and I'm super excited. I've never had a home canned tuna and everybody says it's delicious. Now, I will tell you, you know, I double stacked my jars. I got 12 pints of 25 pounds of whole tuna. I bought 2 tuna that equaled 25 pounds. And so it was a little expensive, but it was pretty early in the season. Now the tuna are starting to come in and the price has already dropped 25 cents a pound. So if I love this and I know that I want it stocked on my pantry shelf to have, because I always keep tuna. I think it's a great source of protein and this is beautiful. In fact, I'm gonna bring you in so you guys can see firsthand what I'm doing, and that way there's no, you know, there's no question marks. Okay, and if I haven't told you lately, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you for being a subscriber and coming along and watching and supporting my channel. It means so much to me and I just really appreciate you guys. And it's a great community. You help answer questions for me and it just, I don't know, it just feels good. So I appreciate you. Okay, let's come on in and we'll open this jar. I'm excited. The only thing I'm not excited about, what stuff gets left on the jar, and I'll show you and tell you how to clean it off the easiest way. So yeah, I don't like raw pack for that reason, but maybe next time I'll try part cooking the tuna. All right guys, come on. Okay, so you saw I drained off the albacore from Costco. I drained off what was in the, oh, I've got to do garbage today, so this is good. And you know, these are pretty dry chunks when you open the can and you drain the water off. This is what you get. And I have always loved this tuna, but we're gonna see if something will rival it. I think that'll be fantastic. And now I'm gonna open, let's get all the tuna off of there. Now I'm going to open this jar, and the interesting thing in the double stack, this is a Tatler lid, and this is a Tatler lid opener, and this sealed really good. There you go. Woo! That's a good seal. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, it smells good. Okay, so we're gonna pour off the liquid. Now I put a little bit of water in here, but I did not add salt. I did not add anything because I wanted to see first off how it came out without adding anything. And I can already tell you, because it's raw packed, this is what happens. This is what happens with raw packing. This is one of the things I do not like. It mucks up your jars, and I'll show you how to clean these. If you want to see a video on that, I'll show you exactly how I do it. And then the meat kind of, it doesn't matter if it's chicken, beef, anything that's raw packed, kind of melds together. even though it breaks apart easy in the chunks that you put it in, it's still, I don't know, it's just kind of odd. So that's a lot of fish. So now I'm gonna, oh, it smells so good and it looks wonderful. I'm excited. Okay, so I guess I'll, even though I use the fork for both, I'm gonna give you a taste test here. I better bring the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got my taste test here, and I'm gonna taste it without anything. Actually, this I've already got earmarked for something for Shotzi, because I do give her fish. I try to give her fish once a week, so she's gonna get some tuna this week, and that liquor off of there. Okay, so we're gonna taste this without anything on it. No mayonnaise, no nothing. Delicious as usual. I mean, if you're not a tuna lover, I don't know if you're gonna like this, but okay. And I like it because it flakes down to where you can really mix it into a tuna salad or a tuna casserole. When I do a tuna casserole, if I do a smaller tuna casserole, I use 1 can, but most of the time I use 2, which these are 7-ounce cans. So I would use 2, which is, this is probably the equivalent once it shrunk down. These jars, these are 16-ounce jars, but once it shrinks, it's probably the equivalent, who knows. Okay, so the moment of truth, oh my gosh. Okay, I've got that memory here. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. I don't know. This is fishy. This is not fishy. This is, it doesn't feel dry. It doesn't taste fishy at all. It is so good. I'm so impressed. Wow. It's beautiful. Okay, guys, hands down, over the top. This, I'm sorry, and this is probably the more expensive tuna on the market. And I've always loved it. But it's salty. This isn't salty. And it's kind of fishy. This is not fishy. Somebody that was telling me, you know, when we were talking, said, be careful, don't over salt it, because you can get it too salty. And I said, well, I'm not going to add salt the first time. I can add it when I open it. And one of these jars will make a beautiful tuna casserole. It just tastes like a really mild, absolutely wonderful fish. I'm so excited that I did this, and yep, I'm going back. I could eat it without anything, right on a cracker. But I'm gonna add some of my homemade mayonnaise, some celery, some red onion, and a little salt and pepper, and some fresh dill out of the garden. And we're gonna call this lunch tomorrow. I'm gonna have that with some, maybe a tortilla, or I might grab some, I have some naan crackers. Gosh, this is absolutely wonderful. I am so impressed. I really am. I thought there's no possible way it can be that much different, but it is. Albacore from Costco, I still love you, but if I can do this, I will do this anytime. So I plan to go back. I want to put back, my idea is, I've probably got enough on my shelf for a year for me, but now that I know how delicious it is, I'll use it more often, right? Because not everybody likes tuna casserole. But when it's like this, it doesn't taste like chicken, but it's so mild. You don't think tuna, if that makes sense to you. So I want to go back and grab at least another 25 pounds of live fish. And even if I have too much and next year I still have tuna on the shelf, okay, I'll just replace what I used. Because the rotation on this kind of stuff, you know, when you open or you get cans in the store, a lot of times it's a 5-year shelf life. Well, I don't see any reason why mine can't be the same. You can go by the FDA's recommendations if you'd like. I go by my own, and I actually rotate my pantry out every 3 years. Everything gets renewed. So I keep track and keep going and rotate. If you guys ever want to see a video on kind of how I do that, let me know in the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed this little taste test. I'm going to go ahead and make my tuna salad and for lunch, and Shotzi's going to have some albacore in her dinner, and breakfast, dinner, and probably this will probably be enough for 3 meals for her over her grain-free kibble, with some green beans and peas and carrots. I'll take a picture of the salad when I'm all done. Holy cow, that's good. All right, guys, thanks for indulging me in this little adventure. And I think I need to do a salmon adventure too. What do you think? Leave me a comment if you want to see me do some salmon. And, oh, I got to talk about the jars. So I double stacked jars. And so I noticed that the few that were on the top, I washed them with hot soapy water and a scrubber, you know, my scrubby. And they still felt sticky, tacky. And I'm like, what's sticky? There was nothing sticky in there. Well, what happens is the oil, whenever you're pressure canning, that jar's gonna vent. And it's gonna vent some of what's in there, sometimes more than other things. And so the oil in here some of it vented on, you know, on the outside of the jar. Well, because of the heat and it not being submerged in water, it almost baked on the jar. I had to scrub these twice to get that feeling off of there. And I had to think about it, why that happened. But now I've got to get the inside of this jar clean. And so how I do it is I get hot, soapy Dawn dishwater, and I add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar to the jar and let it soak. And then that wipes right off. Do I want to do that every time? No, I really don't. And I don't like the look of it in the jar, so I may par cook my next batch of tuna. And if I do that, I'm going to bring you along so you can see how I do it. And you can make your choice accordingly, and I'll show you side by side how the jars look. All right, guys. And maybe we'll do another taste test and show you how it comes out of the jar. All right, I can't wait to see you next time. And don't forget, there's some links below. I've got a link for my All-American canner, as well as some other things that you can go look at and shop for if you want to. All right. I hope if you're not a subscriber, you hit subscribe and you come back next time.